need a new channel? You already got Facebook.
No, I'll tell you what. Let's learn from.
The second thing I want to say is that we need in Facebook. There's even amongst individual users of Facebook, there's a tendency to mix up quality and quantity. People think that if you get 25 remarks in your status, then you're doing great, But if your remarks are all garbage, it's not worth it, It's better to get 2 remarks or 1 remark to make some sense, than get 50 people who like what you say and another 16 remarks saying, where they don't have anything necessarily to add.
The fittest will survive. That's all we can say on.
It'll be collective correction, Kuri. If you think Facebook, if you think Jet Airways is kind of their own employees are seeding in information, I'll tell you what, people like you and him will find that out and it will backfire and they'll come back to normalcy, But I think it's very, very important. Microsoft, who in our minds would have thought that Microsoft is one of the most absolutely open companies when it comes to internet usage. When I say internet usage, the ability to put in content out there. You just have to go to their Microsoft Developer Network to see the amount of knowledge that's coming in, and mostly from employees, and they're the ones who are playing the brand ambassador and starting to get the entire developer community into sharing information.
I think you're mixing up 2 different things here, Kiruba. In a software development initiative, obviously if you hire employees who are software engineers, they need to be there, and then pooling their resources and talents with the world at large. But when you're trying to get feedback from your customer, like for example, if Microsoft wants to know how good MS Office is today and whether their cloud computing initiative is working, there is no point having their soft Facebook page full of their own employees saying how great it is working.
No, I'm saying it's a one-off thing about employees. My gut feeling is that 99.9% of companies really will not get into having their own employees come and talk about it. Maybe Jet is just one-off.
Wouldn't be.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not able to get his point.
Yeah.
Are you saying that employees should come on?
I'm saying you should.
My point is very simple. That if you have a social media site for your brand and you're trying to do a daily analysis on how well or how badly your brand is doing, your members of this particular page should not include your employees, distributors, and suppliers, because they will tend to say nice things about you and skew your feedback into a direction which is incorrect.
That's an ostrich attitude, because if you don't know what customers are saying about it.
These are not customers, I'm talking to the employees.
No.
I'm saying customers should be on it.
See, on the other side, anyway, that the brand owner is going to know that only that employees are giving that feedback. Right? When you say great about the product, they know that who said that. Right? And they know that it's their own employee. Now, how does it matter to the owner?
Not necessarily. If you're like Microsoft and employ 1 million people, how do you know that Subhash Ganguly works for Microsoft if he doesn't say so?
Whoever is involved in the social media, whoever is going to take care of that division, right? They have a way to find it out. They know how to filter it out.
No, the consumer will know that it is a biased opinion. It is an employee who is saying
That's exactly my point.
But why stop it?
Yeah, you should never.
It skews information. The whole purpose of all this is information.
No, you think in the same way, the way Kripa put it on a positive way. When an employee is sharing the information on the network, okay, it adds more credibility.
You tell him what are the things.
Same way you think on the Jet Airways also. When an employee says, my company is doing good, and the product, what we are doing is extremely well, it creates a positive environment in the entire arena.
Kuri, I'll give you an.
It's a number game. It's again a number of views.
Kuri.
The employees talked about a service that I had as a customer paid for. It was loud.
I'll tell you.
I thought I was allowed to talk and I should talk and you shouldn't talk. Why are you gagging me?
No, I'll tell you what.
What kind of credibility do you have?
I'll tell you an example of some employee keeping the ear close to the ground. Kingfisher buys Adacon, renames it Kingfisher Red, and unfortunately in Delhi, Kingfisher goes from Terminal A and Kingfisher Red goes from Terminal B. But their ticket, you can't differentiate one within the other. I nearly missed my flight by going to the wrong terminal. I'm a cheap guy, so I have to go to Kingfisher Red, but I went to Terminal A. I have to run back with all my luggage, just about barely made my flight. And I sit in the thing, panting and then I put a stinker of a tweet saying that, what are these guys? I mean, they can't even differentiate. And then I land at Chennai airport at about 10:50 in the night, and there's this very good-looking girl who stands with a bouquet and a bar of chocolate like this with a name tag that says Kiruba Shankar. I said, wow. And no, I obviously get magnetized towards her, and she says, sir, I believe you had a sad experience in the Delhi airport. Can you tell me more about it? No, my boss wanted me to see you. I'll tell you what, my experience, it was a sour experience 3 hours back, but I'll tell you what, maybe it's the girl, I don't know, but it really turned out to be positive.
Partly because you are Kiruba.
No,
But you're
it could
saying
be.
the same thing I'm saying. I'm not saying employees shouldn't be listening to the Facebook page. I'm saying they should not be commenting on it.
Okay, now he's come down a little bit.
No, I'm not. I'm saying, obviously it's run by employees, Kiruba. What do you run it for? You run it to listen to your customers. You're a Kingfisher customer. You had a shit experience. You put it on Twitter or whatever you did, and they were listening. That's good.
Yeah.
But if you have 20,000 Kingfisher air hostesses telling you what a fantastic flight they had on Kingfisher Rail, then you get lost in that.
Yeah, I'm saying it's just very far and few between out there. But those companies must be brought down. But look at these numbers out there. 5 lakh likes, 90,000 comments, 5,000 mentions a day, and look at that. That's the kind of, brand communication you'd like to have for your own brand. And this is what happens in a very traditional marketing thing. Traditional advertising, you start a campaign, goes on, then it stops, and then you start another different campaign, in the traditional media. I think that's where, the online entire social media thing kind of complements what's happening in the traditional media, which is they just take that entire conversation and keeps building on top of it. And that's the beauty of it, which is why gone are the days when being on social media is a nice to have feature. I think you're in deep shit, and you will be in trouble if you don't get on top of it. Fish where the fishers are, and you have to be where your customers are, and just no two ways about it. Domino's Pizza. There was an incident that took place in North Carolina, and what happened was there were 2 employees. This happened on a Thursday evening. It's a Thursday afternoon, very lean time. And in one of the Domino's Pizza outlets, there was this guy and a girl alone in the kitchen, and both of them bored out of their minds. And they decide to have a little fun. It's not the fun you're thinking. So the girl picks up a handy cam. She switches it on, points it to the guy, and say, do crazy things. And the guy does it. Do you want to see that? Sorry. Get the volume. Play, come on. Oh, this is unbelievable. Okay, it is connected. All right.
This is Michael's special Italian sandwich.
And all the sandwich goes. Now, Michael, I think that these sandwiches are going to be full of protein.
It's our special ingredient.
What's
KFC's
hard on
got
them?
theirs. Domino's has theirs.
And where's this going?
Just in the interest of decency, I'll stop right out there. And he goes on to do many other things in the next few seconds. Sneezing into word, he opens her pants up, and well, you can do the imagination, the rest. And this girl does the unthinkable, which is put the video up on YouTube. And I'll tell you what, this video was clocking. It's not this video, this is actually a different video, but the actual main video that was out there was clocking about 500,000 views every hour. It went on, it went on to blogs, it went on to Twitter. and you had comments like this. And then you should have looked at the Twitter stream then. It was bzz, it was going like that, the amount of discussions. And you had very interesting discussions, like there was one comment that says, hey, I didn't know Domino's Pizza released a new topping. You know, from that to I will never ever take my family out there again, it just went on. It started to spread really fast on blogs. Yeah. And then forever etched on Wikipedia, on the Domino's page of Wikipedia. Very much, very much. And Wikipedia believes in that neutrality policy. So both the good and the bad, which means there must be some bad. And they got this and put this up. It's still out there. And then they found that the lady who shot the video was a convicted sex offender, and she's been arrested for stealing. A child molester, a sex offender, and now, so Domino's Pizza hires all these people as well. Someone found that out and they put it out. But the most interesting thing actually comes after this. For the first day when this incident happened, the PR company ran to the head of the corporate communication, to the communications corporate Copcom department, and said, I think the shit is hitting the fan. And they were told, just hush it down. There are guys like Suresh Kalmadi who will still go on to win elections. So, don't worry, don't tell the world, only few people know now, but if you go give a press release and stuff like that, more people will know, just quieten down. And it didn't. And it became, like a waterfall, snowballing effect that took place. And then the next day, when it hit the front page of New York Times, it came on the Wall Street Journal, and then the company began to wake up, and they started taking corrective action. And this is what they did. And due credit to Domino's Pizza,